Hey guys, I haven't posted a video in a while, so I thought it was time to put a new one up. This I just received is the SS Brewtech 7-gallon Unitank. I have a few upgrades on it. I have a glycol chiller from Penguin Chillers hooked up, and they have obviously hooked up to the FTSS. I have a blonde ale in there. I just put it in today, so this is the inaugural run on the Unitank. The other add-on I have is the much overpriced spunding valve, but I thought, why not? So that's like $156, $158 just for the valve itself, not including all the extra hardware. The only issue I really had with this thing so far is during setup. Doing the pressure test, I just couldn't get pressure to hold. I ran CO2 through the oxygen/CO2 valve over there, and pressure gauge, obviously it's 0 right now because there's no pressure. I'm just doing a regular ferment for the first few days and then I'll cap it off. So anyway, the pressure was, I put 10 in on the gauge there, and after about 5 minutes I'd lose about 5 pounds of pressure, and I'd be scratching my head saying, what's going on here? I did it multiple times, tightened everything. I tightened the gauge, so maybe the gauge was loose. I tightened the all the tri-clamps all over the place. You know, there's so many of them, so there's a lot to check. And lo and behold, it was a 50-cent bolt or nut right here that seemed to be loose. I think that solved the problem. The pressure gauge was also loose. I emailed SS Brewtech, and 3 days later, still no response, which is unlike them. Usually they're pretty good about getting back to you, but a lot of times they're not super helpful. They'll just tell you what they think you could do, like tighten everything, which I had done. But so I figured I would do what they were gonna say. After I tightened up the nut or the bolt on the, I'm sorry, it is a nut on the ball valve, and then tightened these up a little bit here and down there. You can't see right now because there's a tri-clamp on there, but it's also some threads down there. I tightened everything as much as I could, put just CO2 in there, 10 pounds, and it held it for about a half hour to 45 minutes, so I was satisfied with that. I put in some just room temperature water and put it back up to 10 pounds of CO2, and it held, I think I had it for like 45 minutes, and it held it to about I think it lost maybe 3 pounds, which I think may be normal for if you just have room temperature water in there. It's going to absorb some of the CO2, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure, but I was satisfied with that. I do hope that SS Brewtech gets back to me, and I'm going to see if they'll replace the ball valve and the pressure gauge. It is filled with glycerin. There was glycerin leaking a little bit, which may be normal, but if you're spending $1,000 on something like this, you expect the parts to work out of the box and not have to go through 2 pounds of CO2 to figure out what's going on. But anyways, I digress. I am happy with it so far. We'll see. Like I said, I just put a blonde ale in there today, so in 3 days I'll probably take the ball valve and I will lock this guy off here, and I'll spun the rest after I dry hop it. It's just a dry hop blonde, so nothing too crazy. I just want to do something easy to get this thing working and try and work out any of the kinks. So we'll see how that works out. But overall, this is it's a pretty cool piece of equipment. Not something that everybody's going to be purchasing just because of the price, but if you're crazy into homebrewing like I am, as you can see, have the Penguin Chiller, have another SS Brewtech 7-gallon Chronicle, Grandfather, and the 10-gallon SS Brewtech. So if you like all the brewing tools and toys, this is, I guess, next step up. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll try and post more videos soon.